Welcome into the 2026 Week 30 devlog for Slammer, a multiplayer FPS game that I'm making solo in Unreal Engine 5. This week, I took a bit of a break from working on the bot AI and instead focused on something that's been nagging me for quite some time, which is the economy around ammo and plates. Previously, I've just had placeholder values for both of these, so the plates start off at 9 and then just automatically reset themselves when you get to 0, and ammo does the same thing. It just starts at 999, you decrement down as you fire and reload, and when you reach an empty magazine, it just automatically refills your ammo. So obviously this is good for placeholder testing kind of stuff, but in Test Drive 2, we want to be able to do better than that and actually represent the ammo and plate economy like it will exist in the actual BR. And the first step of doing this is to get rid of those artificial refills on armor and ammo. So this was relatively trivial because I was just taking out the hacks that I had put in to give you that unlimited armor and ammo. I then had to decide on some starting values for the ammo limits for each ammo type that weren't just 999 as I had previously had. And for the first one, which is heavy ammo, I really wanted this to be a scarce resource that players have to really monitor. And in turn, the heavy ammo weapons in the game are very powerful. I think that's a big reason why in a game like Warzone, snipers feel so oppressive, because players have 40 rounds of that sniper ammo and can really just put down suppressive fire with weapons that probably shouldn't be able to do that. So with that said, I'm starting off with a value of 18 for the max reserve for heavy ammo, and we'll see if I need to tweak that in the future. As for light and medium, I'm going to give the players 150 rounds of each, which gives you a decent amount, but not a ridiculous amount, to the point where you can just mag dump over and over again and not have to worry about getting more ammo. That then brings us to the issue of our explosive weapons in the game. The way Warzone handles this is they have a whole different ammo type for explosive, but the way I want this game to work is I want it to be simple enough for anyone to understand, and I don't want to add an unnecessary ammo type for just a few weapons. So instead, what we're going to do is make a mechanism where certain weapons can draw different values for the ammo type based on the weapon that they are. So for example, we have our rocket launcher, which I currently have set to take 3 rounds of heavy ammo for every time it reloads 1 round. So effectively what this does is it allows the player to fire their rocket launcher 7 times when they have the full reserve of heavy ammo, and it just burns through the heavy ammo differently, and it solves the problem of using one ammo type with multiple different weapons that are designed differently. And I actually built this out in such a way that it is a property in our weapon stats data table. So if I decide that I want to tweak any of these values for the rocket launcher or any other weapon into the game at any time, I can just go in there, make the change, and we'll see it in the game with no code updates needed. So once I was done sorting out the weapons starting ammo and then that workaround to get different weapons on the same ammo type, I had to move on to the question of how many armor plates should I give to each player. The value I ended up going with is 3 armor plates by default, and then later on there'll be a lootable vest that you can pick up and get up to 6 armor plates per player. And these values are a little bit limited on purpose because I'm trying to make this game a more tactical experience where you really have to think about stepping out in the open. And I find that in Warzone, you have too many armor plates to just walk into a fight really stupidly, replate, and still win when you should be punished for running around like a maniac. Your movement and aim are going to be big parts of the skill gap in this game, but I also want your brain and resource management to be a big part of the skill gap. And that's why resources are going to be pretty limited in this Battle Royale. And that then brings us to the problem of, okay, so the resources are limited, but I'm in a firing range where I'm shooting at unlimited bots. How do I refill my ammo and armor? How I solved this was creating armor and ammo crates, which are just static crates that are on the map, and the players just walk up to them, press the interact key using our existing interaction system, and then their ammo or armor is filled to the max value automatically. And although I don't want resource management in the firing range itself to be too tense like it is in the BR, there is a slight cooldown timer on both crates, so you can't just stand next to it and keep refilling over and over again. And with that, the hacky ammo and armor resource management system that was there last week is completely gone and replaced with this one, which I think is much more aligned to my end design goal to the game. So that is really great to see. And with this shipped, I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel for Test Drive 2, which is going to ship the lockdown objective. But before we get to that, we're going to have to make more changes to the bot AI, which is what I will get up to this week. And speaking of this week, if you want to stay tuned and keep up with me trying to develop this massively scoped game as a solo dev, definitely subscribe to the channel so you can keep on the lookout for the weekly devlogs. Additionally, likes and comments are absolutely huge for a small channel like mine in terms of the algorithm and more people seeing my videos, but they're also big for motivation on my end, so I definitely appreciate it if you're so inclined to do that. Also, the link for the current Test Drive 1 build that's live and free on Steam is in the description as always. So if you like the gameplay you're seeing right now and want to try it out with up to 3 friends, definitely sign up for the Slammer playtest and give it a shot. But with all that being said, I've been Steve. Thank you so much as always for watching, and I'll see you next week.